The seventh sense, the mysterious ability to survive in a world that's changing every second. Introduction. If one day the entire internet disappeared for exactly 1 hour, what would happen? Airplanes might be delayed, banks might stop operating, hospitals might lose connectivity, millions of businesses might be paralyzed. Just 1 hour, the modern world would descend into chaos. But what's even more terrifying is, most of us don't realize how much our lives depend on an invisible network. Joshua Cooper Ramo calls the ability to see these invisible connections the seventh sense. It's not the ability to see through objects, nor is it a supernatural ability. It's the ability to see how everything in the world is connected, before anyone else realizes it. After reading this book, I understand that in the 21st century, the winner isn't necessarily the strongest, nor the smartest, but the one who sees what others haven't seen. Chapter 1. The world doesn't work as it used. In the past, an event happening in one country could take weeks to affect other places. Today, a status update, a video, a rumor can spread across the planet in minutes. The world no longer operates like separate gears. It's like a giant spider web. Just one thread vibrates. The entire network feels it. Joshua Cooper Ramo argues that whoever understands that network will understand the future. Chapter 2. True power lies in connections. We often think that power lies in money, or the military, or resources, but the author offers a different perspective. What creates the greatest power is the ability to connect. The right idea for the right people, the right business for the right ecosystem, the right person for the right community can create a far greater impact than the power of each individual. In the new world, value lies not only in what you know, but also in who you connect with. Chapter 3. The butterfly effect of the digital age. Have you ever wondered, why did an unknown video become a global phenomenon? Why can a small company beat established corporations? Why can just one tweet shake the market? Ramo explains that in a connected world, very small changes can create enormous consequences, not because the event itself is too big, but because it spreads through millions of connected points. That's why never underestimate seemingly small things. Chapter 4. Data is the new bloodline of humanity. In the past, oil was once considered the most valuable resource. Today, data is gradually playing a similar role. Every click, every search, every place you visit leaves a trace. Those traces, when reconnected, can tell the story of an entire society. But the more data, the greater the responsibility for using that data. Technology is a tool. The deciding factor is still people. Chapter 5. Crisis no longer follows a straight line. Today, a financial incident can trigger a supply chain crisis. A pandemic can change education, healthcare, and how we work. A cyber attack can affect millions of people in multiple countries. The modern world is like a domino. You don't just need to see the first domino, you have to guess where the last domino will fall. That's the value of a seventh sense. Chapter 6. Network Thinking. Joshua Cooper Ramo doesn't advise us to memorize a lot of information. He encourages us to learn how to see the relationships between pieces of information. One person sees the pieces of the puzzle. Another person sees the whole picture. And the person who sees the whole picture often makes better decisions. That's the difference between knowledge and intelligence. Chapter 7. Human beings remain the most important link. Amidst all the stories about technology, the book still comes back to humanity. Computers can process data. Algorithms can predict trends. But empathy, ethics, the ability to ask the right questions, still something humans must cultivate themselves. If those qualities are lost, no matter how strong a network is, it can still become a threat. Chapter 8. Cultivating the seventh sense. How to develop your seventh sense. Not by reading more news, but by learning to connect the dots. Ask questions. Observe multiple perspectives. Understand the causes instead of just looking at the results. Sometimes, the most important thing isn't the answer, but the question you dare to ask. Chapter 9. Who will control the future world? When I reached the final chapter, I realized this book isn't about predicting the future. It's about preparing for the future. In a constantly changing world, adaptability will be more important than certainty. The ability to learn will be more important than always being right. And the ability to connect will be more important than being good at just one field. Conclusion, an inspirational message. When I closed the book, I no longer saw the world as a collection of disconnected events. I began to see the invisible threads connecting everything together. A small decision today can create a huge result in the future. A chance encounter can open a whole new chapter in life. A seemingly simple idea can change an entire industry. Joshua Cooper Ramo didn't give us a crystal ball, he gave us a new way of seeing. A way of seeing that helps us be less afraid of change and more proactive about the future. If you only remember one thing from this book today, then remember this: in this interconnected world, what you see is less important than what you understand behind what you see. Cultivate your observational skills. Learn to connect the pieces. Always maintain your curiosity and never stop learning, because the future doesn't belong to the one who knows the most, nor does it belong solely to the one who works the hardest. It belongs to those who are perceptive enough to recognize the subtle laws at work behind the scenes. Who knows, right after this video ends, you might see everything around you from a completely different perspective, no longer as isolated stories, but as signals, links, opportunities, and perhaps that's when your seventh sense will begin to awaken. Because ultimately, the future isn't determined by those who see the furthest, but it's because these people see the connections that the rest of the world is still missing. Please subscribe to the channel to listen to great books every day. Thank you.